and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Well, hi, boys and girls. Welcome into what could be a very interesting Bostonian versus the book. It's Matt Perrault and Dave Sharapan. We are back here on a Tuesday, live on YouTube and Twitter. Sports Grid Replay, how are you? I have no idea how long this microphone is going to last on this show. This is why we're a little bit late. I'm using AirPods today because we're trying to configure everything. This has been a mess of a morning.
I'm afraid to move.
I can't move.
Talk. I'm afraid. Yeah. You, with the inability to even talk with your hands, may be bad. And there goes the mic. Pause. Restart. We're out of microphone. Maybe.
Did it come back?
Okay. So now I can hear you.
Yeah. It's going to be.
You're going to be hollow.
Oh, you can hear me in my headset?
I can hear you talking. Everyone else can hear you right now.
Okay.
It's not through the mic. It's not the usual sound.
It's not to the mic. How
now?
How about now? You sound great.
Yeah, just snap back. It just snap back in though.
Okay.
This is how we're gonna do the show today. So we probably Sports Grid may not be. We may not hear here on Sports Grid. We'll play around with it. We'll see how this is gonna go. There's a faulty cord that has to be replaced.
Faulty.
It is just not cooperating with my computer at the moment. It's got nothing to do with the coffee. If we just FYI, it's got everything to do with the whole how this thing has gone technically wise. Just how it goes. I'll figure it out because it is banging. The mic is working.
Yeah,
but I don't. Whenever I change
nothing.
No, can you hear me on the mic or hear me through my?
No, you're on the mic now. You sound great. You're back.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
So I don't today. I don't hear myself in my head.
Okay.
I hear you in my head. I don't hear myself in my head.
I hear you in my head every day, so that's fine. I hear
so
you
we'll
in my
play
head.
with this.
I hear you in my sleep. It's nonstop.
Yeah.
My wife
This will be a 90-minute
She
show.
tells me Perrault said this, that. I'm like, listen, I don't need your pardon my French shit.
Right.
1150, Will. I don't need his all the time either. So, Will, we appreciate you did that video yesterday. Today, bear with us. Make us sound good. Make us look good when we reappear on Sports Grid tonight.
Please.
And let's get through the show. We're going to be all right. Just don't touch nothing.
Yeah, 90-minute show. But we have a backup, though. So if we can't, we will be on. Everything's fine with the camera. Everything's fine with the internet. It's just this microphone cord is not cooperating
Don't touch
at all. I can't touch anything. It's just... I called today. I called the technical people at the microphone spot, and the guy was like, "I've never heard of this before." I was like, "Oh, great! I love when there's things that no one's ever heard of."
Oh, now you're out again. It switched. It's going to keep switching. You're going to have to stay off the mic and stay on the computer. Just keep it on that setting. Be careful. Don't touch nothing. Oh, this is great. You guys are going to hear me talk a lot today. We're not going to hear Perrault.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just a faulty set.
Okay, that's all. Can you stay like that?
Yeah, I can say like this. I mean, it comes in. See, this is so strange because as you guys are watching it on YouTube, when this is banging like this, that means the microphone's connected. So it literally is a loose wire that is causing this connection issue. Like when it's just not right and not perfect, it goes off. Like it just went out. So it's just weird. So we'll just do it like this, and then you guys just bear with us on this.
For those in the chat, it wasn't Angie. It wasn't Sydney. It was the cat. It was I'm gonna blame the cat.
No, nothing to do with the cat. This has everything to do with just.
Was it Addison?
No, I think it's just it's a three.
Addison.
It's a two. You use something every single day for the better part of I use it more than 2 times a day.
Right.
So cords just get worn out, and I think the cord I'll replace tomorrow. And we should be good to go. So it's just.
You're replacing it today, sir. We're not replacing it tomorrow. We're replacing it today.
That's what I mean. Today after the show, I'll replace it, and then it'll be tomorrow. It'll be what it is. It's just we won't get the Sports Grid replay on this. And if you guys are listening to this podcast, unfortunately, you're going to get a much different sound out of me. I'm going to sound like I'm in a tin can, but I'm here. So I mean, better than not doing the show, I guess.
I guess is that a tin can sound? Is that what it sounds like in a tin can?
I'm assuming so. I mean, I've done this. I did the Daily Juice this way a couple of days ago when all of our stuff was at Circa. And
Uh-huh.
I went back and listened to it, and I was like, man, that did not sound good.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
a tough.
you're an audio freak, so you
Yeah.
definitely don't like when you don't sound right.
Yeah, when I sound like this, it's not always the most ideal situation. And the
Right.
fact that the Golden Knights tonight could potentially go and win the cup tonight is, crazy. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets, however,
Denver Nuggets.
winning the NBA championship last night, their first ever
Yes.
in their history. Very impressive performance
Denver
last
Nuggets.
night, given the fact that the referees tried everything in their power to not allow the Denver Nuggets to win the game last night. Did you know? Oh, yeah. Did you know that this is, I couldn't even believe this, that Scott Foster was the referee in the replay booth making the decisions last night?
I did not, no.
100% accurate.
So those
True.
guys do that when they don't get the court, they can get the replay booth?
He was the replay guy last night for that game. And so when Jimmy Butler kicked out and booted Aaron in the what?
Yeah, he got him right in a groin area, we'll call it right now for the clean show.
When he got it there,
yeah,
that was Scott Foster saying, "Oh no, it's all good. Foul. Yep, 3 shots." Almost changed the entire course of the game.
Right?
I mean, the extender almost had his moment last night. He almost did. Came close to it. Almost had his shot to go ahead and make the series extended. So just one of those really type of moments. But Denver does go ahead and win their first ever championship. Look, I'm always happy when new cities win. How do you feel about that when a new city gets a title? Denver won the cup last year, but they win their first ever basketball championship. I think it's good for the league. I think it's good for the game. How do you feel about it?
It's awesome. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Jokic winning, Murray, crying. I mean, when a guy's hurt and, comes back and can get the championship, the role players, everybody lived through that adversity. And I mean, they were the number 1 seed before, they've lost. So, I mean, this is the team that I thought was going to win it a couple years ago when I had the stroke, and we came out and did the first show I did was pushing the odds. And I said, the Nuggets bet is still alive. I thought that they were going to win it then. So
that's unbelievable. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I completely forgot. I knew the Nuggets bet, but that was the bubble?
No, that was the year before the bubble.
The year before the bubble, 2019.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How about that full circle?
Yeah. So it's all I mean, that was the bubble. I'm sorry. That was the bubble because we were in COVID and they were playing in the bubble. Yeah, that was the bubble.
Okay.
September 11th, 2020 is when I had the stroke and we did the show on the 16th.
Bubble, yes. That was bubble.
So,
bubble time, yeah. That was the playoffs. That was the Western Conference Finals. They came back down 3 games to 1. Excuse me, down 3 games to 1 to make it and they lost to the Lakers.
Right.
In the Western Conference Finals, Lakers won the championship in 2020. So, do you think this changes things for the Nuggets? Like, obviously, you win a championship, but we talked about it a bit yesterday. There's a changing of the guard, is there not? What's happening right now in the Western Conference?
Without a doubt, they're the odds-on favorite to win the NBA championship next year. I mean, I don't remember a time ever that they were the preseason odds-on favorite. So, yeah, it's changing. I mean, it's fun. Like, I'm okay with the brand names not being the best teams all the time, even the Celtics. I mean, that's, it's good. The Bucks
they're the second favorite. Again, the books are still overvaluing Boston tremendously.
It's who you're going to take the bets on as much as what you think is going to happen. You don't have to give away Boston. People bet the Celtics, not just because they're originally from Boston like you, or because they're Larry Bird fans from way back when, or they're, Jalen fans now. Like, it's not. It's just they bet the Celtics. They bet the Celtics all the time. So the price has to be short. I think Denver's just proved that you don't have to be one of those top 2, 3, 4 preseason to win it. That's
Right.
good. Isn't that? I mean, that's good
Yeah.
for the league. That's good for the fans. That's good for wagering, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, 100%. It's great for, I think new blood brings in new bettors. It brings in new eyeballs. It brings in people who maybe were casual that become more serious in either watching or gambling sakes for that matter. And I think it also gives an opportunity for new stories to be told. You
Right.
know, we'll get to the searing hot take of the day later, but Jokic last night was like hysterical. Like basketball to him is a job. He's not one of these guys that just like eats, sleeps, and breathes basketball. He's like, I want to go home. He's like, I just want to go be with my farm. I don't want to be here anymore. Like it's not Vegas, not going on a spending spree. No, he wants to go back home, to sit in the woods.
It's just like winning bets. A lot of times it's relief. Like
More
that's
than
the
winning.
first like, whew, all right, great,
Yeah.
we did it. Now I'm going to rest. I'm done. Like, and that's why, when you keep the wagers and going, like, people ask me all the time, like, well, when you win something, do you get excited? No, I'm just relieved that I won it. I'm on to the next thing, or I just want to take a break. You can see it last night. I mean, we'll get to it. It was it was a joy to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was watching it, was on Sports Grid and was on with Dubs and Ranieri at halftime, and I was like, man, this is one of those ones where you're just sitting in a book going, we can't stop it. We're just taking bets on Denver. They're down 7 at halftime. The line's 1.5 for the game in game. That means it's 8.5 for the halftime. And you don't write a bet on the other side. And it's just a matter of time. That would have been a monster if the Heat could have held on and won. But I think it was 75-71. And I ran downstairs and told the kids, I'm like, you guys should watch this fourth quarter because these guys are going to win a championship. You can see the city celebrate and all this stuff. And Kendall's like, well, there's still a lot of time left. I said, it's done. That was it. So that's when I knew. I thought it was.
Well, I think Jimmy Butler went off in the fourth quarter, scored 13 consecutive points for
Amazing.
the Miami Heat.
Oh.
Put him on, came out, really started firing. But I think one of the problems that Miami ran into is that when Jimmy went into God mode, it was either Bam or Jimmy. It wasn't at the same time. And Jimmy went off in the fourth quarter, Bam disappeared. He was a non-factor. And then you're asking a lot of role players, undrafted players that step up. And Jimmy knew that and took a really ill-advised shot early in the shot clock, forced a three with Aaron Gordon right in his face. And difficult shot. He wanted to be the guy, and he just jacked it. And I just think he was tired. I mean, I think the team is tired. I think there's a lot to be said about being an 8 seed and being doubted, having to, survive a 7-game series against the Celtics in which you were up 3-1, and then you had to come and conjure up everything you conjure up. But here's the thing. They went 16-4 in the playoffs. I don't think anybody was beating Denver this year. Do you think anybody had a shot? I think this was their year.
I mean, the way it fell and it looks now, no, but you never know. I mean, if there's a different injury or something, but the way they played and the way they were healthy, the way they had multiple outlets of scoring, the way they played defense. I mean,
right.
The way they were coached, everything. They won all those games at home all season. Like we said it before the series. I don't think Miami's going to win a game in Denver. They did that and still lost the series in 5. Maybe it was Denver's year.
I do think so. I think it was Denver's year.
Yeah.
People hate Stan Kroenke, right?
I've heard.
They really hate this guy.
What's wrong with Stan Kroenke?
Well, it's mostly because of St. Louis. Him taking the Rams out of St. Louis, lying his way out, the lawsuits that followed, everything else that kind of went into how he got the stadium in LA. People don't like him.
Good
business. Stan Kroenke, in the last 16 months, won a Super Bowl, a Stanley Cup, and an NBA championship.
What a parlay that is.
That is an unbelievable run for an owner.
Back to back to back?
I mean, well, no, the Rams
Cup?
won it.
Oh, Rams. It was Cup, then Rams, or Rams and then Cup.
It's basically been 3. It's basically been 3 seasons, but
Man, oh,
it's
man.
been 6. It's been 16 months just because of the way that it falls. The way that, you know, the next time a championship gets awarded in the NFL is in February of 2024. So the way it
Right.
runs. So you had the
Okay.
2022 championship for the
Right.
Rams,
Right.
the 22
In LA,
23.
in his stadium, by the way.
Yep.
On top
The
of everything else.
22-23 title for the Avs, and the 23 or the 21-22 season, sorry, for the Avs, and now we have the 2022-23 season for the Nuggets to win it all.
Rolling. He's rolling.
I
Man, oh,
mean,
man.
this is in terms of just, you may hate the guy, you may not like him. St. Louis
Wait.
people are always going to despise him, but
Jimmy Jack just came in the chat. Jimmy Jack with 4K said Stan
Right.
Kroenke won the 2022 indoor lacrosse with the
did.
Colorado Mammoth too.
he did, and he also finished second in the Premier League with Arsenal. But I don't care about those things, so it don't matter to me.
That's a nice little peripheral thing too.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I
Wow.
don't know. I think Newbie might be the only person I've ever met who actually watches the Premier Indoor Lacrosse League.
There's a little
So-
bit of a rigmarole on the gambling Twitter about the Spanky started poking the bear and talking about people actually bet on lacrosse, like kind of not making fun of them, but like said something and then boom, they got all the lacrosse people coming at him. It's a good little
No.
gambling Twitter spat.
Lacrosse people are like the Karen version of golf fans.
Whoa. What?
Like they're real uppity.
What?
Lacrosse people are really uppity.
What?
You don't know this? Yeah, lacrosse people are really uppity. I mean, I'm from a lacrosse town, so I would know this. I mean, this is my people. They're real uppity.
They're-
Put it this way, like Connecticut people and lacrosse people are very similar.
Wow.
They have very similar walks of life. Like they all love to
Yeah.
shop, you know, pastels are their best friend, you know, vineyard vines nonstop. You know, this is
Whoa.
what they all wear this. It's a big deal. Lacrosse is a really tough sport. I mean, it is, but it's also watched and supported by people who go to polo games, and you know, it's a very highfalutin, uppity crowd.
Is it really?
Yeah. That's why you don't see it in other parts of the country. You see it in the Marylands, North Carolinas, the Virginias. You know, the ACC is basically the only real solid college conference. You know, there Johns Hopkins, James Madison.
I was in a fraternity with a couple of lacrosse players. They were from Maryland, and they were from the one kid was from Acton, Massachusetts.
Mass? Yep, there
Yeah.
we go. My aunt, I know Acton very well. My aunt and uncle lived in Acton for years, so they moved to Portland. But yes,
Yeah.
I know Acton very well. Acton is very similar to Andover. Yes, very similar towns. Very. And look,
My buddy Jay was a bad dude on the ice, man. He played hockey one year on our team. He used to give guys the puck just to run them over.
oh, nice.
Yeah, he was a
Southern
lacrosse
Jersey.
player that encouraged the contact.
Yeah, Southern Jersey, Pennsylvania, all in the Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, all that area. is
Eastern
really,
PA. They don't really play much. I mean, they do
Nope.
now, lacrosse in Western Pennsylvania now, but back then there was
Yeah, it's
no
all Eastern
lacrosse.
PA. Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
football. I mean, you play football or hockey in Western PA.
Yeah,
you
it was-
just
yeah.
you play. And I mean, my town. I wish I would have loved it. I would have been great at lacrosse. I couldn't skate, but I've got great hands, so I would have been. I always say that. Like, I wish my town now is outstanding at lacrosse, but they didn't offer it. We didn't play lacrosse when I was in high school. Now they play at an elite level at Andover. But I mean, it's great scholarships. If your kid plays lacrosse, there's tons of scholarship opportunities around the country as the sport grows. I just don't think box lacrosse, I don't think will ever really take off.
No, I mean, that's different. It's lacrosse outside is different than indoor lacrosse and a box lacrosse. I mean,
Desert Dogs here though in Vegas do fairly well. And they cover it like a legit team. They send the TV stations out there to cover it. It's Gretzky's team, so I mean, he shows up once or twice a year to watch a game.
right. We
He's
gotta go.
around.
We gotta go talk to somebody.
Oh, I heard
about
they're a
going
ball
down
because they encourage fighting.
there. It's a different type of event. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way.
It's
Yeah.
minor league hockey without skates.
Right.
That's the
Akbar is in the
Yes,
chat. He
sir.
said it's a bougie sport.
It is. It's great. It's absolutely a bougie sport. It's, you know, I don't know how to describe it. Like a lot of seersucker suits are worn,
Oh.
like that type. You're like, like that type. And I got married in a seersucker. I got married in one of those seersucker suits. So like, I'm not throwing stones here. Like I own one myself. So, I get it. I get the Southern. I'm in on that. I mean, I'm part of the gag on that. But you have to recognize.
I've never seen a wedding picture from this seersucker suit. I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yes, you
one
have.
time.
What are you
I haven't
talking
seen you in
about?
the seersucker suit.
It was on my wall every time you came over.
I was looking for that cat.
When you walked into my house, on the left hand on that wall, when you walk upstairs, all my wedding photos are all right there.
Oh, I remember. Those are gone now, though. Those aren't there.
Yes.
Those are not there. I haven't seen those for a while. I'm just saying.
Those
They
are
ain't
gone
there
fast.
no more. That was a while ago.
Huntsville, Omaha. I have a picture of Huntsville and a picture of Omaha. That's what has replaced.
Right.
The
There ain't no
photos.
more. There ain't no more.
No more wedding photos. No. Picture of Madeline's still there. It was
That's
painted
still
by my
there.
cousin. That's still there, but that's the only thing that survived the purge of the house when I got rid of everything else in this house. So when do people start betting? You mentioned the odds for next year. When will you see people bet 2024?
Oh, not for a while. You get a couple of
right.
tricklers here and there, but like people in for the weekend in the next couple months, hopefully when they come in to sign up for the contest and contact the Brigade Proxy Service and we go meet them, we'll find out whether they, want to bet the NBA futures. But no, you don't see nothing happen now until the free agency talk. I mean, the draft, we know who's going number one. We don't know who's going number two. When the summer league comes here to Vegas, which, by the way, we need to check with our people, see if we can get credentialed for that. I'd like to see if we can because we'll probably be down there.
I think it'll be easier now because Wembayama is going to actually start at the other one.
Okay.
I think the Portland one, right? There's one in Portland in Vegas.
I think so. Portland and Utah. They were in Portland and Utah, and then they all come here.
He's going to do They've said he's going to start up there.
Yeah.
That's where he's going to go.
So if we could get credentials, that'd be good. Because I want to go. I want to be there. There's a lot of people coming to town. Are already getting texts like, "Are you going to be here?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to be here, signing people up for the proxy service and all this other stuff that we're doing." So yes, please come. And if you come, we'll sign you up and get you all hooked up. But it's NBA Summer League and it's NBA free agency. Like I'll never forget the year that somebody just literally out of like you might as well have heard the noise for the Angels from above when they came in and said, "I want to bet the Celtics to win the championship." And they were the second worst team odds. And then all of a sudden Kevin Garnett signed with them. And we were like, "Oh, move the number quickly." Why? What? Because when it came in and bet it, we were like, yeah. So somebody knew something. And then Ray Allen on it was like, whoa. So you start to see the snipers come in and take their shots on teams that you weren't expecting, so that's when the bets start coming.
It's interesting because I'll be curious to see. Oh, but by the way, ask the chat on a scale of 1 to 10. How do I sound? Like a 6?
On a scale of 1 to 10, Chet, how does Perrault sound? 10 being good, 1 being caca. So put a number in there. Sounds. We got a nice crowd in there today, so everybody just put in a number. I mean, and Mikey,
if you're just joining us,
in OD.
This is not how I normally sound, just FYI. So I'm just curious as to what I sound like as we go through the next.
See, it's driving. You guys have no idea. It's driving him crazy. Now.
Crazy!
He cannot hear himself. That's bad.
Then
two,
I can hear myself.
Hear what he sounds like.
I can't. There you go. I can hear myself, but I can't hear how I sound. So
this is bad. This is bad.
For
bad.
me, that's
for
bad.
The audio expert here, he does not. So we got everything. So just to fill you in, we got a 7 from Sonic. We got a Michael Balix at a 4.
Okay.
Who is this Perrault person? Mikey Awesome wants to know. Don't mess with him right now, Mikey. 5 to 6, 5.5, 6, a little bit underwater, 6.5.
All right.
6.9, of course, Tyler puts in an odd number. It's probably what his model spit out.
But 6 point, I mean, a 6 is arrogant. Like, I've often said this on my, whenever I did radio, I would ask people like on a scale of 1 to 10, anything over a 5 is arable. So if you're 6, you could do it. It doesn't sound great. It's distracting, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I need to turn this off. I can't handle it. So if it's a 6, that's okay. That's kind of good to know.
Joe
If this
C.
ever happens
Myers
again.
just came in. Joe C. is either on break or on a switch of shift or whatever. And he's been with us a couple days now for watching the live show. We appreciate
Beautiful.
you, Joe, and all the work you're doing with the A stuff too. Thank you very much. He came in with about a 7. So
Okay.
we got numbers all over the place. That's
good. As long as it's over
good.
5. I mean, it's over a 5. Then
5
it's
or
airable,
more.
and that's good. Yeah, 5 or
All
more is airable. So
right,
that's
good.
exciting.
That's where
Did you see how Texas lost last night to Stanford?
Oh,
This is crushing, right?
I mean, it's so brutal. For the people that don't know, tell them what happened.
So in the 9th inning, it's a tie game.
Can we play clips eventually or no?
Got to pay for it.
Okay. All right. Well, we're not playing a
Mem-
clip.
mem-
Just describe it. If you don't
Yeah.
want it to, I will, because I watched it 10 times because I just was trying to see what each kid on the field looked like.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, you can do it. It's fine. I mean, I saw a clip of it. I didn't see it over and over again. But
Well,
they lost the ball in the lights.
the pitcher works the count in his favor, gets a batter with the winning run on second base to pop up. Short fly ball in shallow right center field. Too deep for the second baseman to go out, but a can of corn for the center fielder or the right fielder. Immediately when it goes up, the Texas center fielder put his arms up like, I can't see it. And the announcer goes, pop up the wait, he can't see it. And the right fielder took 2 steps towards it and then lost it and couldn't see it and stopped. And the shortstop was running out, like pointing, like, it's you. And then, boom,
Boink.
the ball drops. The winning run just scored, like basically walked home. It's a walk-off pop-up that should have been caught out. And Stanford's going to Omaha. Texas is going home. And like the right fielder looked inconsolable. He was just like dropped to his knees and just went like, I don't believe it's over on a pop-up that would have been caught and you'd have played extras. It was terrible. It was a terrible way to lose the game.
I saw nobody on Stanford last night. Everyone was on Texas. I was not. I didn't bet it, but everyone. If you lose that and you're running cold, that's one of those like, yeah, I'm done betting for a while. Just close
That's a bad beat, but that's a good win if you had Stanford. We talked about it on the show with Gabe and Cam, and I said I'd bet Stanford. I watched that line crash 20 cents. It was like minus 140, closed minus 120.
Yeah,
and
everyone was on Texas.
The total was 13.5 or 14. The game finished 7-6. Good number, under. Who won that other game that we had talked about? Tennessee.
Well, Tennessee wins 5-0, and I'm going to say this. I think Tyler is 100% on to something. Those arms, they got a guy coming out of the pen, the Burns kid, who's throwing 102 miles an hour.
He was pretty excited about it, too, when he came off the field.
102 miles an hour in college baseball is not easily hit. Aluminum bat or not.
You better get that glove up after you throw that ball, because if a comebacker comes back, that's leaving a mark.
Yeah.
It was impressive. It was impressive. And Tyler gave us the series bet before that series. So he won that. That's good. And hopefully he's doing good down at the poker off and on.
I had Denver. I had a Denver money line combined with Tennessee yesterday. So I was watching that game. I mean, they brought their defense and they brought their arms. And if they play defense and pitch like that, plus 850 is live for them to win the whole darn thing in Omaha.
Is posting the Twitter link to that play allowed in the chat?
Yes.
There you go, CW. Who is that? CBW. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, of course.
He asked the question in the chat. So yes, you can post a link to that play. Good idea. That's a great idea.
As long as YouTube allows it. I mean,
it's in the chat. Would anybody? I mean, they have to click the link to do that. So that's good.
Yeah, he's probably. Yeah, I mean, there are some rules with like Discord channels and whatnot about taking people off different platforms, but we're cool with it, so it's fine. So go ahead and that's fine. Yeah, post it. It's a brutal play. I mean, it's a brutal loss. It's tough to watch. You feel for the kid. You feel for the entire team. It's gonna and it's Texas baseball on top of that. So it has a fan base. Like it's not like it's some of these teams have like 10 people in the stands. Texas baseball has a fan base. It's true.
Once you get to the super regional, you have more than 10 people in the fan in the
But
stands.
some of these super regionals. I mean, you got to bid to host it. That's why sometimes super regionals are played at the lower seeds location. Because sometimes the 1 seed doesn't want to host it because they can't afford it. So,
Really?
oh yeah, of course, yeah. You have to bid when you are in a super regional. If you're the higher seed, you have to pay the NCAA to host it, meaning you have to make your money back by selling tickets and concessions. And if you don't have a fan base, there's plenty of teams that just say we don't want to host it. Somebody else can do it.
Oh.
And then you're the lower seed. You're the lower seed, and you're the 1 seed, but you're on the road.
Wow. Do you get to play as the home team in that situation in the 1 and the 3 games?
Yes, I believe you are the home team when you play those situations. But your crowd, there's no
Wow.
crowd. You're going to on a road. You're going up against a crowd. You're not supposed to be there. So college baseball, yeah, there's still very interesting rules about college baseball that's not typical of other NCAA owned championships.
It's one of those losses like you can't explain. And Otto just came in the chat and said, I think of my softball team and how they would react to something like that. It's crushing. I mean, you walk in and I mean, as the coach, you just say, get your stuff. Let's go. I mean, there's nothing to say. Like, you lost it in the lights. It happens. The game's over. Season's over. For a lot of those guys, career is over. That's one of those ones. I mean, like I know I remember the losses more than the wins playing.
Of course.
We lost the Colt League Championship. We were up 10-2. We lost 11-10. It was the worst snowball inning. They scored 9 runs in 1 inning. We had a kid that was playing center field that didn't drop a fly ball maybe all season. Dropped a pop-up. And it just led to more runs. And I was playing first base and I didn't get a ball the whole time. I was like, just hit it to me. I'll catch it and step on the base. Like, let's go. Oh, it's so bad. And we talk about it to this day. The guys that were on a team, when we get together, you remember that regional we were in? We were going to go to the Colt League, state finals, and we lost up 10-2. It was disgusting. Ugh, terrible.
Wow. I'm trying to think of the worst loss. I don't think I was ever on a team that blew a lead like that.
Yeah, 10-2.
We just ran into a school called St. John's Prep every year. We just couldn't beat them.
Yeah.
They just beat us 3 years in a row, my sophomore, junior, and senior year playing soccer. And every step was the deeper level it was the state quarterfinals, and it was state semifinals,
right.
And it was the regional. It was the regional finals. They kept on beating every time. We lost like 4-1, 3-2. Like, it was, we had and they were a private school, kind of like Bishop Gorman here in Vegas. They were able to recruit. They're able to pull kids, and why are we playing these guys? This is not fair. This is like the best players from a region versus our town. Like, we're happy to be here. You guys are an all-star team. We were always so pissed off about playing them.
Same. We got to the state quarterfinals my senior year of hockey, and we were a game away from playing the semis at the Civic Arena where the Penguins played. That's what it was. We were one step away, and we played Central Catholic. And they had kids from all over the city, and they had a really good team, and we had to play at their rink.
That's really funny.
And we lost 5-2.
Was that in your town was that in your town or your city? Central Catholic.
Oh, it's a city school, but it was private. Okay. I mean, it was they got kids from everywhere.
That was our big rival too. Andover, they were in Lawrence, the town over, but Central Catholic was our big rival too. That was the St. John's Prep was in Danvers, Mass, but Central Catholic was a school we played every year on Thanksgiving. Was a football
rival. Yeah.
Do you guys play Thanksgiving Day games? Was that big where you guys are?
High school football was the playoffs the day after Thanksgiving. That weekend they used to play. Neat. They used to play on Friday and Saturday at Three River Stadium or at Heinz Field. Now that was a big weekend there. So Thursday everybody just ate and whatever, and then Friday, Saturday was all.
You guys got done early. You got done in November. How about that?
Well, that was the Western Pennsylvania, the Whippeals, Western Pennsylvania finals, and then it went to the States later. Yeah.
We called it the Super Six, which is you play at Gillette Stadium. There's 6 different divisions.
There you go.
They play at Gillette as size of school, for the state champions. But you can watch in one day they play 6 games. So
Yeah,
you can
in
stay,
Pittsburgh, it
watch
was
the-
either 2 and 2 or 4 in one day, and it's great. It's a great event. I haven't been in a long time, but they
I
still
never
do it
went to
there
it.
at Gillette?
Yeah, so Gillette,
Yeah,
yeah, Super
yeah.
6 is still a big thing, and every year they do it, and they televise on TV, which is kind of a rarity because high school football normally means nothing in Massachusetts. So one time it actually means something a little bit. People actually might stop to watch it
Right.
because the Little League World Series, like when I was 12, we had 2 All-Star teams. The other team went to Williamsport. My team did not. So
Ah.
that changed. I don't know how my town does it now, but in the immediate aftermath of the other team going, and Andover got smoked in 2 games, they were 1 all-star team. They stopped doing 2. They made it be 1 in case they ever got back to Williamsport. It wouldn't be because there were some really, I mean, we were all really good. We had an A and a B team. It wasn't
Right.
like there was one.
Yep.
It was drafted basically by 2 coaches, and the
Right.
team that got either the easier draw, but they wound up going to Williamsport, and it was, that was the baseball matters big time in my town and in my state. Baseball
It's
is the thing.
huge. It
So,
was
but
everything
high
for
school
us in the
football,
summer. Yeah, it was great.
yeah, but high school football is just kind of like it's there, but it's it's not as big of a deal as it is like in Houston, where I was, where Katy, Texas has 20,000
Texas.
fans.
Yeah, stop. Nothing is like that. Nothing.
I mean, not even like in Alabama either. I mean, Alabama high school football is gigantic. I mean, there's guys who are bookies who put lines up on high school football that I knew.
That I believe.
That was always the one. I was like, "How are you making this line?" He was just like, "I don't know. I just kind of put together the records and see what people are going to bet, and just we just take it." And the limit was $100. Couldn't,
Yeah.
max bet was $100. And so it's like, what the hell are we doing? You're betting on high school football.
What are we doing?
What is this? This is
Mm.
wrong, but
Goodness
hey,
gracious.
get people to bet. This is wild. Okay, I'm asking this question because I think we have to now actually get into it. Is Shohei Ohtani the best baseball player ever?
Do we have to do like that? Can he be the best player right now?
No, he might be the best player ever.
Ever?
Ever. Look at this.
Ever? Look at that.
Ever.
Look at this. We got fancy graphics. This guy's
MLB.com,
playing
by
around
the
with the
way.
graphics, boys and girls. This is great. He's learning different things. Look at this.
MLB.com did this. This is not our graphic, but
No.
this
thank
is
you.
crazy.
Yeah.
He's the first player. Look at this. 20 home runs or
Yep.
more,
Mhm.
100 Ks or more in a single season. He's already done it this year. It's June. He leads Major League Baseball in home runs. He's second in strikeouts. This is ridiculous. 2021, 2022, 2023. He's done it 3 straight years. I mean, there is something wild about this.
Never seen anything like it, obviously. We'll talk about it for a long, long time after he's done playing. Baseball's so old. I don't know if I can say right now he's the best player ever, but he's damn close. This is this is tough to. There's nothing to compare it to. Nothing.
It's unbelievable.
Want to welcome in all of our Japanese audience who anytime
Hi.
you say Shohei
Ohtani.
Ohtani, you get an influx of something. I don't know how they know we're talking about him, but we appreciate you being here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button while you do. And if you come to Vegas, sign up for the Brigade Proxy Service as well. We got some guys that can help you out with that so you can be involved in football season. All of that being said, are the Angels going to make the playoffs?
I mean, I think there's an opportunity here for a lot of people who haven't seen Ohtani play. They need to get into the playoffs. They need to get into the playoffs.
Well, I mean, the World Baseball Classic brought in a lot of people that maybe hadn't seen him play. And that was fun, that matchup at the end and all that stuff. But, I mean, I know I'm drawn to the Angel games all the time, not just because we live here and we get them, but, like, it's fun as hell watching him play. It is different, and you know it's different. Sometimes you just can't describe it, but I don't know.
Can they win a championship? If he stays in Anaheim, can the Angels win it all?
They got to go get some pitching, Perrault. I mean, come on.
In his career, okay? If we can't say that yes definitively, because right now I'm a no, that they're not going to win, given who they're up against, the farm system for the Astros, the Rangers now spending the money that they are spending, then the American League East. You can't dictate where someone goes. You can't put him on a team. But the Angels are going to be responsible for ruining two of the best players of all time that were not seen at the biggest moments on the biggest stage. It's unacceptable. It's inexcusable.
Mets or Yankees? Which would you rather see him on?
Mets.
This is a good question for the chat. We got a lot of baseball fans in the chat right now. If he has to go to New York, which, Mr. C just came in and said going to the New York market would be great for his exposure, blah, 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 blah.
Seattle would be great for him.
Seattle would be great. But if you had to pick a place for Shohei Ohtani in New York because they have two teams, is it the Mets or the Yankees? Who do you think more people are going to say?
Well, everyone hates the Yankees, so they're going to say the Mets.
Well, not everybody's from Boston and hates the Yankees that watches the show.
Everyone hates the Yankees.
There's a lot of people that hate the Mets.
Who? Yankee fans hate the Mets. No one hates the Mets. Who hates the Mets?
Pittsburgh Pirate fans hate the Mets.
Why?
Muck the Fets. They used to change that and say muck the Fets.
But what do you hate the Mets for?
Well, because back in the late 80s, they were very cocky when they won that World Series and against your guys in 86. It was like nonstop New York, blah, 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 blah. And they beat the crap out of the Pirates in the late 80s. And I couldn't stand the Mets. And then the Pirates won those division titles.
I mean, no offense, but who wasn't beating the crap out of the Pirates?
They had a rough time of it in the late 80s, but they turned it around and were the best team in baseball and lost to the Braves and stuff and the Reds. But nobody likes the Mets. Who likes the Mets?
Two of my college,
there it is.
Two of my college roommates like the Mets.
Do they? Yankees, Mets, Yankees, Mets, Yankees. Wow, that's a pretty sharp divide. I mean, even divide here.
If you like the Yankees, you'll say the Yankees. If you hate the Yankees, you'll say the Mets. Most people hate the Yankees.
So Red Sox fans would say the Mets?
100%. Yeah,
Orioles fans would say everyone in the division would say the Mets. But
Mets.
If you ask the National League, they're like, send them to the Yankees. We don't need him.
Of course. You don't want him there. You don't want him anywhere near.
You know how great it would be if you went to Pittsburgh? Man, I got to talk to Shohei. I got to reach out.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, my gosh. It would be incredible. Build the whole city around them. Literally. The whole city.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Good luck with that. With Ohtani going there. Today is reverse boycott day for the A's. And in celebration, they've won 6 straight and 7 straight on the run line to completely obliterate my experiment. I'm now down 2.6 units. The Rays have to win all 3 games, the rest of this series, just for me to go up 0.4. Otherwise, it's a loser of an experiment for me. A's are the hottest team in baseball at the moment, and they're going to have a sellout crowd here tonight for their game against the Rays, or close to sellout. There's going to be over 10,000 fans in there wearing T-shirts that say "sell" on them. Remember when Barstool Sports, David Portnoy created the clown Roger Goodell shirt, and everybody for the Patriots were wearing those teal crown? That's what it's going to be like. It's going to be like that, where everyone's going to be wearing the same shirt, and the team's going to get out there and play. Now, it's not being directed at the team. It's not being directed at anybody at management. It's just being directed at ownership. But they're doing it to show that they would come and support the A's if there was a better product and a better ballpark.
Are they going to get either? I mean, you see what's going on here. The legislators yesterday, 3 of the 39 went to the meeting. And the 3 that went dismissed it, said, we'll see you tomorrow for the A's. It was fascinating. I saw our guy Carp on the news talking about it. Like, whoa, there's a lot of things being said and done right now with this A's move that makes him think it's not going to happen. But
No, I mean, the people who I follow on Twitter who are in the know internally to the politics of this state have said the owners in MLB want this to happen. There's enough people in Carson City who want this to happen, and the A's want this to happen. That it's going to happen. It's just a matter of what. They're doing the clandestine, really shady thing because the bill that was put forth to move the A's here does not list a location for the ballpark.
That's some balls, ain't it?
So the reason, if you go, well, why would you do that? The reason they're doing that is because the Nevada Department of Transportation cannot issue an opinion on the ballpark's impact on traffic on the strip until they list an actual location for the ballpark. So the first deal with Red Rock fell through. Second deal with Bally's could also fall through, and they could build it somewhere else totally separate. So this is a moving target for the A's as to where they're going to put the ballpark. But for people who live here, that's all they want to know is, where are you putting this thing? And this is why people hate the A's, and they hate A's ownership because they've done this with Oakland a lot, where they never are definitive with their answers.
Well, and they don't want to put up no money. That's
well, no, they are. They're putting $1 billion up. I mean, they're going to spend $1 billion. They just want $380 million from the state. They want tax breaks and they want help, but they're going to fit the majority of the bill is going to be paid for themselves. You know, it's different than what happened with Mark Davis. It's different amount of money. We talked to Bernie Fratto about this at our show in Circa. About you guys can go watch that.
On Friday,
it was great. It was great about breaking down exactly what the money was in terms of how the Raiders got here versus how the A's are going to come here.
Right.
But when you're doing reverse boycotts and things like this, I mean, I get the point, but it doesn't make the ownership, it doesn't change anyone's opinion or mind about moving to Vegas. They still very much want this to happen. And I still think it's going to happen. I think it's a monster mistake. I'll go. I'll take my kid and I'll go to Red Sox games and I'll support. I'll be a part of it. Just like, the Golden Knights moving here made a ton of sense, or starting here made a ton of sense. The Raiders moving here because of the stadium, there was a need. It made a ton of sense. Again, I don't see the need for baseball. And I think Bernie's opinion is awesome, saying the A's are not being invited. The A's are just showing up at our doorstep.
With their bags in tow. Hey, we're here. Hi. Build us a ballpark. We'll change it all around. Don't worry. We'll try to win. We'll spend money. We'll this, we'll that. Actions speak louder than words. That's a good methodology for life. You hear things said, and then you see the way things happen. And when they're different, there's a lot of questions. I think there's way more questions than answers with it. Tonight will be fun. I had Denver money line with the Rays money line yesterday just to play around. So then Denver won, and I had to sweat the Rays game, and I was betting Oakland for the first time this season in game because I was like, they actually are going to win. I think they're going to win. I mean, it did it. So ended up coming out ahead. That's the benefit of doing those 2-game parlays, those ridiculous money line parlays that pay I think it was minus 120, 2 money line favorites. But Kendall's right. Point spreads are stupid. So that worked out in the basketball. And the A's won 6 in a row. Ralph Michaels, a friend of ours from Wager Talk, put this out. It's only the third time that a team has won 6 games in a row as a dog of plus 145 or more in baseball history. That he could go back in the program and do the math. The other 2 teams did not win the 7th game.
Oh,
this would be the first time ever, and we're doing an experiment on a show.
I need desperately the Rays to win tonight. I mean, because I always bet to win a unit.
Yeah.
So I'm laying heavier and heavier juice. It's putting me deeper and deeper into the hole. The more I'm losing, it's like minus 130, minus 140. It's just like it compiles. As I said, I was up 7 units. I'm now down 2.6 in the span of a week.
Listen,
in 1 week.
some BMs, bookmakers, have planned their Caribbean trip based on this week. You understand? This made the whole month of June okay, despite the NBA being what it was. 6 days in a row where a dog like that swipes all the parlays out. The A's win, and people bet against them. I mean, they were playing the Pirates, so it wasn't probably that bad the first 2 days, but then the Brewers at home, they're not going to lose 3 games in a row. Brewers bet. Bad chase. And then he get them last night with the Rays. I mean, today it's Beeks against Harris. Is this a bullpen game? It's minus 210. Minus 210.
I mean, this is my life, okay? And this is why I can't stand what's going on right now, because I just ended the NBA 47-23 on the Daily Juice.
Yeah, you were fired up last night. That was a good percentage.
67%, up 22.5 units.
It's pretty good.
Do you know what I am in baseball?
Oh, no, you're already losing.
I'm 31-32, down 4.6 units.
Right, that's no good for the Juice. 31-32 is not. You're down units. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I hate betting baseball, and I'm about to enter into this cavernous nastiness where I've got to deal with baseball betting, and I can't stand it. I'm
just bet the Reds. Bet against JC from KC's Royals now. That's the next experiment.
That's what
the Royals were favored yesterday. You got Reds plus money.
Yeah,
Diamondbacks lead in the NL West plus money.
I think it's dangerous to bet on teams that are good. It's hard. It's easier to bet on teams that are bad.
It's easier to bet on teams that are bad or bet against teams?
Bet against teams that are bad. Betting on teams that are good, I think it's because they go 7-3 in a week. That's great, but betting wise, it's you want the 2 and 8.
Ultimate grind. The baseball betting is the ultimate grind.
It's not fun. Not fun. Okay, baseball betting is not fun. I've done it all now for 3 years. I've bet every sport, literally every sport. And I'm looking, and I'm not even kidding you, I'm looking at CFL lines going, do I have to bet CFL? Okay.
That's why it made the rundown today.
Yes, it did.
I didn't figure out why it made the rundown.
Yes.
I'm like, is he serious with this? I almost called either Carmine or McGinnis or somebody to come on and talk about CFL betting. I'm like, he really don't want to bet baseball. I thought it, but I didn't ask you. I figured I'd wait for the show. That's hilarious.
I am awful at golf betting, and I'm like, I got to bet golf now. I got to bet the U.S. Open. I'm horrific at it. I got to bet it. I just need this, and this is the problem that this goes into tonight, because this is going to be the last hockey game tonight. This is going to be it.
Is it?
Yep.
It's over.
I mean, you want to talk about confident levels? Oh my gosh, this town is on fire right now.
Ooh.
Every single person has got a golden night, something. I walked to a Starbucks today before the show, went and got a coffee, walked in wearing this, and it was just like everyone was da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Told them what I did. It was like 4 people turned around. They were like, oh, so what do you think? What are you betting? What about this? What about that? I was like, oh my God, this town is absolutely going crazy. Like, this is nuts. One woman was going to the game, and I was like, be careful. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, in Denver last night, 10 people got shot during the celebration. Just be careful. Vegas is kind of nuts. She was like, what happened last night? I was like, just be careful. She's like, I'm going with my girlfriend. I'm like, okay, just guys. I was like, just keep your head about you. Okay, Vegas. Right. She's like, we're not crazy like Denver. I go, we're not crazy like Denver. I go, we live in Vegas. What are you talking about?
Right.
We're way crazier.
What? I
was like, we're way crazier than Denver.
Crazy like Denver.
No, she goes, we're not crazy like Denver. She said,
well, I know, but like, what did she even mean? Like that, we're Vegas.
Yeah,
we're more crazy than Denver. No,
100%. I mean, you put that picture up yesterday of a car flipped over on the strip. So, like,
someone said that might have been one of those auto driving cars too. I don't know if it was or not.
I really hope not, because I don't like what they've done with the autonomous driving on the strip, but they're testing it out on the strip, because I told you before, eventually cars are not going to be allowed on the strip. So it's just going to be autonomously driven vehicles. That's all it's going to be allowed on the strip. Human beings are not going to be able to drive on the strip at some point soon, in the next 10 years.
Wow.
So that's the plan. But if their cars are flipping over, then no, that won't be the plan.
It stinks because, like, I know where all the good places to park are, and I know how to get in and out of everything. It's going to make that skill go away. All the skills that I have are
No, the
slowly
back.
becoming
No.
useless.
You'll need it because you have to come in the back way driving. You just can't drive on Las Vegas Boulevard, but you can drive all the back roads, Frank Sinatra's, all those Koval's, all those different back
Okay.
roads. Those will all still be passable by drivers. So you still need the
Okay.
back entrances and the ways in the parking decks and whatnot. But that stuff will also be relevant.
Otto just came in the chat with a great quote from Joey Porter from the Steeler days. He said, "They shot me in Denver." That was a quote that he said after they won the Super Bowl. He's like, talking about the road. He's like, "They shot me in Denver and we won." Blah, blah, blah. For Pittsburgh people, that was a good quote. Sorry, I just looked down and saw that. Shot me in Denver. Knights are
over
winning
tonight?
tonight, no?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
You doing the over thing again?
The over thing again? What do you mean?
You betting over?
Correct.
Oh, boy.
Why?
I don't know.
This could be a rout tonight, by the way.
You think a rout?
It was a rout in game 1 and game 2. Why couldn't game 5 be a rout?
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, why is it so different in game 5 when game 1, game 2 were blowouts?
Well,
Both
game
games
3 and
over.
game 4 were not.
Were those games in Vegas? Those games were in
They
Florida.
They were in Florida.
So we're changing venues here.
Right.
The ice is going to be perfect tonight.
I can't believe how nice it is here.
Perfect tonight.
The shots from outside, all this stuff is going to be perfect. If you're coming to town, if you're not already here, or you'll be watching the show tonight on Sports Grid, reviewing it, you're going to see this is like perfect. Everything is perfect. Everything is set up perfectly for the Knights to win tonight and celebrate.
The cup's in the building.
It was on a raft. It was on a lazy river today at the MGM. Did you see that? It was going around.
No.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
So here's a question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If the Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup tonight,
yes,
is this the greatest feat in sports history?
For a team sport or what? What are you
For a team sport.
About?
Think about this, okay?
Yeah.
This team didn't exist 7 years ago.
This is true.
This team was a figment, was a plan, was a thought. Bill Foley said, "I'm winning a cup in the first 6 years." I said he was crazy. This is year 6.
It's pretty damn impressive.
I can't think of anything else even close to it. We've never seen this in baseball. We've never seen this in football. We've never seen this in basketball. Expansion teams get destroyed. I don't care what the rules were. I don't care what the drafting was. Half the team that was drafted, I saw this stat this morning, half the team that was drafted by the Vegas Golden Knights 6 years ago, half that roster, they don't play hockey anymore. They're
out
all
of the
retired.
league? Just out of the league?
Out of the game. They don't play anymore. They're done.
Wow.
Half that roster that they drafted does not play the game of hockey anymore. They're done.
That's why this one is more impressive in that regard because they turned the whole thing over. They didn't make the playoffs last year. I mean, they were out of the playoffs to the 1 seed and winning the cup in a year's turnaround time. I mean, hockey's the sport that can happen, but the fact that it happened here is, I mean, we'll have to go back and think if anybody. Sonic said the Diamondbacks, but I don't know how long it was the Diamondbacks won the World Series.
4 coaches in 6 years. 4 coaches in 6 years. They keep on turning it over. Like this is not supposed to happen like this. Where you have all of this, you missed the playoffs last year, you blow out the coach, DeBoer is gone, here comes Cassidy. Cassidy comes in, got blown out of Boston because he didn't win the cup there, went to 6 straight playoffs. Now Cassidy had a chance to hoist the cup. Bruins fans don't want to watch the game tonight because they're so sick to their stomach going, oh my gosh, Cassidy's going to win this cup. He couldn't win in Boston. He's going to win it in Vegas. And this team is built, I mean, it is unbelievable. They people are like, you mortgage the future, you gave all this money to guys like Alex Petrangelo, and like, what were you doing? You tried, this is the fifth goaltender you got because you've had so many injuries.
Wow.
There's nothing like it in sports. In sports history, we have never seen anything like this. And you have to actually sit there and think about it to recognize, because the Knights have been so good for 5 of the 6 years. They've been really competitive. So you just like assume that, like, okay, they're part of the Western Conference. They weren't even a thing 7 years ago.
The Arizona Diamondbacks won the World Series 3 years after expansion.
So that's better. Okay.
So Sonic just
Really?
came in. Thank you.
How did I miss that?
I don't know,
3
but
years?
that's what it
Wait a minute.
says. Yeah. Diamondbacks won the
D-backs
World
were-
Series in 2001. Came into the league, I guess, in 1998. I don't remember, but I was there. I remember going. I had a partial season ticket plan. So Marlins won it in year 4 in baseball. So I guess it's happened multiple times there. So it's good to know.
All right. So
I mean,
it's hockey history. It's a great thing in
Right.
hockey history.
Yeah, it's impressive just in sports, period.
Gosh, the Diamondbacks have won one pennant and they won the championship. In 1998, they were alive, and then in 2001, yeah, all right, yeah, wow, that's true. That happened.
I was at that game 7. That was one of the best sporting events I've ever been to in my life. When
They made the
Diamondbacks won
playoffs
it.
in their second year. They made the playoffs.
Yeah, they
Lost
did
in
good.
the NLDS.
Yeah, they did good in the draft, and
It was
you know,
their
had
fourth
Randy
year, by the way.
Johnson.
It
What's
was
that?
their fourth season. It was their fourth season. D-backs won it all in their fourth year.
Okay,
98,
go.
98, 99, 2000, 2001 when they won it.
Right.
So year 4, but faster than the Knights.
Yeah.
Knights were the first ever to play for it in year 1. No
Right.
one's ever done that in year 1, but winning it in 6.
What's the mood going to be like here if they lose tonight?
Fine, they'll win it in 6, just like last night with Denver.
Oh, it's not even a question?
This is over. The series is over to me.
Man, see, like last night, I was adamant that Denver was winning and that it was like, good, thank goodness we can be done talking about basketball for a little
You're too close to it because they're here. You'd have the same opinion if you were outside. If you were looking at Denver the same way you look at the Nuggets, look at the Knights. It's the same story. Miami, it's the same thing with the Heat, same thing with the Panthers. They've been playing playoff baseball, hockey and basketball for a month and a half, and they're just tired. They're tired. If the Golden Knights score first tonight, it's a wrap.
Jeez, it's going to be incredible.
Game over. I mean, we'll see what the final score winds up being, but if Vegas scores first, and I think they do, and they score first, they score fast, the building is going to be like at full throat the entire first period. It's going to be insane. I mean, just like, this woman I was talking to at Starbucks was like, she had VGK and pucks on her fingernails. She had a very customized manicure.
Yeah.
She was wearing a full Vegas Golden Knights. She was like, I'm going to the game tonight. I'm so excited. This is history. The Cup's getting won tonight. And she's like, we're winning by 2 goals. And I was like, maybe. Yeah, possibly. I think you're going to win. Like, on the puck line, I don't know. And she's like, think it'd be a blowout. I'm like, well, game 1, game 2 are blowouts. So why couldn't game 5 be a blowout? So, I mean, this is what this team has done at home. Vegas, I think it's won 7 straight home games against Florida.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough, but I just seen it so many times where it's like Bobrovsky makes 38 saves tonight. They win 2-1 and they go back to Florida. I don't know. I like under again.
You can play it out, but this is an 8 seed. Okay.
Right.
An 8 seed that needed help to get in. This is not like a 3 seed this has been a team.
I know who they are. I know.
I don't think Kachuk's healthy. I think he's banged up. I think the Knights got to him. They beat the crap out of him game 1, game 2.
He looks hurt. Somebody said to me today, one of the guys that watches the show and is around, he stands to pick up 20 dimes tonight if the Knights win. He was like, what do you think? He goes, I don't think they're going to lose. I don't want to do anything. I'm like, listen, you got 20 dimes riding on one game. Take something for your time.
Yeah.
Like lower the risk a little. It's either 0 or 20. And I was like, just bet him for 2 dimes then if you want. I don't know. You
Just
called me
cover
to
the
tell me you
bet.
didn't want to do it.
Right. What do you make of the total? Opened at 6 at certain books, came down to 5.5.
I like under. I like under.
In an
There's only
elimination game, you like
1/6
under.
left. Let's see.
You like
Yeah.
elimination game under.
Yeah, because again, if Vegas wins, what's the Panthers scoring? 1 goal? 4-1. Something like that. If
But 5-1.
the Panthers
if it's
win,
4-1,
they win.
5-1's possible.
That's well, I mean, it could teeter around the number,
It's
but
a coin flip.
it's close. But if the Panthers keep it competitive and close, it's 2-2 going to the third again. Next goal wins, but it
5-2
might be an
final.
empty netter. Oh, you think blowout again? See, I don't think it falls because they went nuts in game 2 with all the penalties and all those power plays and all that other stuff. It's 4-2 or less. So I think you got more possibilities on the under.
I think it's 5-2 or 4-2.
Okay.
I almost bet puck line. I didn't want to get greedy. I was like, all right, we'll leave that alone just in case it's 3-3. It's a 4-3 win for Vegas, which is possible. I mean, we'll see what Hill looks like tonight. I mean, this guy's playing for. We saw it early in the game with last night. There were a lot of nerves for Denver. They were nervous. So how nervous will the Knights be?
They lost the first quarter and were trailing at halftime.
So what's the look is going to be? I could see it. I could see an early goal being scored by Florida. I could see an early deficit happening, and then Vegas going to climb out of it, and then Vegas comes in and wins the game, and that's where it could be a 3-2 win for Vegas. If it's 2-0 Florida, and then Vegas comes back and wins the game 3-2. That's possible as well. And then the game goes under.
Right.
Vegas wins. So I just think, I wouldn't lay the -190. I have a bet on it and better to book it that will go over. But
okay,
I just think this building, this environment, I think Florida's tired. I think Florida really has run out of gas here.
Wow.
And the two losing at home the way that they did in game 4, they'd won game 4, different story tonight. They're coming in with a ball of energy and fired up, but losing that game, they knew they had to win both games at home, and they didn't. They split, and that puts them straight up against the wall. I'm not saying they're going to quit, just like the Miami Heat didn't quit last night. It's just bigger, stronger, faster.
What do you think of the overtime bet? JC
Don't
from
like
KC just came in and said he sees overtime.
In regulation, Vegas. It's a bet I've made.
Oh, okay. That cheapens the price. You don't have to lay 190 or 200. That's for sure.
I laid 104.
Oh, well, there you go. If you don't think it's going overtime, you think the Knights win. That's the way to bet it. That ain't bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's I'm not betting. I don't think that. I mean, you can bet the draw if you want. I don't see it. I don't think this is going to be that close of a game. I've been wrong before, but look, I called Denver in 5 or 6. It hit. I think Vegas was going to win in 5 or 6. It hit. I got a parlay on them both. It's going to come in. I had straight bets on both. I mean, it's not hard to fade Florida's teams here. They're 8 seeds. They've been playing high level. This is the 1 seed in the West, the Nuggets, the 1 seed in the West, the Golden Knights. They both went in 5. They both go in. Are
you a fan of the red hat, this hat that I'm wearing?
I like the color. I wouldn't wear it. No.
Right. A lot of people like the hat.
It looks like the Capitals to me.
Looks like the Capitals?
That's the Capital red to me. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's blue. It has nothing to do with the Capitals.
What's blue?
The Capitals are red, white, and blue. This is black.
Yeah, the Capitals, their primary color is red. Capitals' primary color is red. The Golden Knights' primary color is black.
Okay.
So
the hat got a lot of run when I posted that picture of me in Sydney and said, hat
that's
jacket
why the hat,
Sydney.
Yeah.
A lot of people said they liked the hat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everyone's looking at the hat.
That's what they said. I'm just telling you what the people said.
Yeah, the people. The people were looking at you, sure, and your hat. It's exactly where the eye goes in that picture, is to you and the hat, sure. Look at this. Look at this market. Look at this.
What is that? I can't see us now, but I can see the market.
Yes. Marshall. Whoa. -600. and no one else is laying juice.
Well, yeah,
Hill,
it's a
12
done
to
deal.
1. Kachuk, 18 to 1. Eichel, 21 to 1. Bobrovsky, 25 to 1. Stone, 30 to 1. Minus 600? Are we serious with this?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just a done deal that we're talking about voters and the media. We're trusting the media all to be in unison?
The betting
Really?
market has spoken. They keep betting it. You have to move the number. You have to try to get bets on someone else. Legitimately, right now, it's 3-1 the series. This could be the last game. You wake up today and go into work and say, who else can win the Conn Smythe? And I say that to you, and what do you say?
Eichel.
I say go move the number and go get some bets on Eichel then.
It's 21 to 1. What do I know?
Someone in the chat will come at me and say, Hill. Good. Go get the
No.
bets on Hill.
Ain't going to be Hill. It can't be Hill. I understand the point. I get the take. It can't be Hill. He hasn't been. He made one spectacular save. I'll give you that. The diving back with the paddle of the stick, unbelievable.
He's got all the
But he
wins
had-
in the playoffs, does he not?
He does. Not all of them. No. Remember, Perrault was the goaltender halfway into the playoffs. So he got hurt against Dallas. Remember? Laurent Brossoit
Brossoit won the first
won the
round.
first series, won the first round,
Yeah.
and half the second round.
Well, that's what I mean. So no, it can't be him. So that's you make him a plus price. And it can't be anybody on the Panthers because they ain't going to win 3 games in a row. So your choices are very limited. So people betting are going to come in and bet Marshall show. So we're going to make you pay.
It's just so funny. So is it the guy who scores the goal or the guy that gives the puck to the guy who scores the goal?
Marshall
Which is the more
scored a bunch of goals. It's him.
Yeah,
That's
all
what
from.
wrote it.
But Eichel leads. But Eichel's leads in points. So Eichel's been passing the puck. Eichel's got more points than Marshall does, but Marshall's got all the goals. No assists, but they got all the goals. It's just funny. This is why betting on these things is so stupid because you're asking human beings to vote logically, and they never do. Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has their own take, their own opinion as to what is this, what is that, what does value mean. You know,
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani, you should rename the American League Most Valuable Player Award to the Shohei Ohtani Award because they'll win it every year now. Like, they will value. There's nobody more valuable than Shohei Ohtani, period. Like, why even have the award?
At some point, like you have to vote someone else like they did against Jokic this year.
Which is stupid, which is dumb, right? Oh, it's got to be somebody else now. It's got to be Embiid. Why? Just because you can't win it 3 times in a row. Why not? Just because. It's a stupid. Like these awards are so stupid now that we bet on them.
They are.
Now that we bet on them, it shines a bright old spotlight on how stupid this is.
This is great because I said this 5 years ago when people started talking about it in illegal markets elsewhere. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? Why are we betting on this? There's certain things I just don't think you need to put markets up on. This is one of them. But people like to talk about it. It's great for the content. Doesn't do much for the handle.
No, it does not. Speaking of handle, real fast, I got a couple quick ones I want to get to before we get to the Omaha Steaks staring off take of the day.
Yes.
So Nebraska has a law.
Yeah, I got to put
betting
the
law.
glasses on for this. This is insane.
So you can bet on Nebraska, Iowa, as long as the game is being played in Iowa.
Go ahead.
You can't bet on Nebraska, Iowa if the game is being played in Nebraska. The way the law is written right now is that the initial interpretation of betting on the College World Series would mean if Nebraska or Creighton made the College World Series, you wouldn't be able to bet on those games in Omaha. But there are some who are rereading the law and they're saying, wait a minute, the way this is written, you can't bet on anything for the College World Series in Omaha, the way that it's being interpreted by some. This is relevant because the College World Series starts next week and people are coming in and they're going to want to bet on the College World Series.
You would
and they're
think
not
so.
sure they're not sure if you have to cross the river to go to Council Bluffs, which is not far from TD Ballpark, by the way. It's only about a mile. But it's still a mile.
It's right down the street, literally?
Yes. Literally. It's you pass the airport and you're in Iowa. Like, it's unbelievable how real. But to live bet from the game, on your phone, can't do it if it's illegal. And they're now arguing whether or not they actually. I mean, this of all the dumb laws we've talked about, Nebraska's law is really up there in terms of just pure stupidity.
Listen, there's a lot of them. They didn't ask anybody before. They just wrote these things up. The lobbyists took care of the legislators. The legislators said, sure, just write it in there. Go ahead. We're not reading it. And now it actually comes to fruition. And they're going to, again, if Nebraska's playing at home, you can't. But if they're playing on a road, you can. Beyond ridiculous. Now you bring into question if you're having an event there. Oh, by the way, we have the College World Series here every year. We may not be able to take bets on that. Really? Why? Did you read this stuff? No. Call somebody. You can hit me up at Sports BK and Sig. Hit the show up at Boston versus the book, and hit you up at Sports Talk Matt. We'll answer the question. If you can come on the show, we'll talk to you about it. Doesn't make any sense, Perrault.
It's a wild. I mean, the headline on Sports Handle is betting on the NCAA tournament held in Nebraska actually legal? Commission and the staff questioning if the new law does what lawmakers actually intended. The text of LB 561 may not reflect the intent. The article reads, an authorized sporting event does not include an in-state sporting event in which an in-state collegiate or university team is the participant. But does the statute read that there is no betting at all on the NCAA tournaments that are held in Nebraska? It seems like the legislature intended something, but the text may not read that way. I share the concern.
Where's my BVB bucket hat?
But no, it's awesome. I mean, it's truly, it's just so typical of Nebraska that they're trying to be all uppity. I think this is the state of Tom Osborne, who used to run around and saying that gambling was really nasty, but he stuck his players with needles like crazy. So it was like steroids, all good. Let's go. Gambling really bad. Pipeline can be juiced to the gills, but that's fine. Like, we're all good with that. Like, we're fine with that. We pay players, we're good with that. No one, don't tell anybody that, but we're going to be hush hush on that because we're Nebraska. We're clean. We don't do this stuff. And then,
are we looking for sponsors in Nebraska? Because we just lost all of them.
No, I mean, I think most people
can't talk bad about Tom Osborne in Nebraska, can you?
Sure, you can. Now you can. You couldn't for a long time until he became a politician, and now you can because he became a politician, and then all bets are off when he became a politician. When he was the senator, Senator Osborne changed everything, and people were like, "Okay, now I can take shots at you because you were a senator, and now let's go." So there's that.
Okay,
but it's just so typical of Nebraska that they're trying to say, like, we're going to be unique. You can bet on our teams when they're gone because nefarious things only happen outside of the state, not inside the state.
The whole thing there's no, it literally was just thrown together. Put it up, and then these are put in to then concede. I think a lot of times with these situations. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
stupid. Another bad idea. What? Jaguars could play at Daytona, 92 miles to the south for 2 years while they renovate their stadium.
You ever been to Daytona?
No, I've been in Talladega. Not right. I haven't been in Daytona, right?
Beach. Daytona Beach, right?
Well, no, it's the NASCAR. It's the track, Daytona Motor Speedway.
In Daytona Beach.
Yes, in Daytona Beach. Yes.
They're gonna play. How are they even gonna get playing the
You tell
raceway?
Me. It's 105,000 people can sit there, though.
Well, they're not going to get 105,000 people to go to the football games, but
92 miles away. This is not a small jaunt for those who live in Jacksonville. This is a hike.
No, but it's going to draw more people to go to an NFL game. There's people that won't go to Jacksonville that will go to the game in Daytona and surrounding areas.
Orlando,
Daytona's an unbelievable. Yep. I was in Daytona for a spring break back in the day. Yeah, it's quite the scene. That might ramp up the Jacksonville crowd. There's a lot of title shots going on down there, if you know what I'm saying. Just saying, there were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's wrong with them playing in Daytona? You don't think this is a good idea? I think this is a good idea if they got to not play. Why wouldn't they play in Jacksonville? Because they're going to renovate the stadium?
Yeah, they're going to modernize the stadium entirely. It's
thought
good news
that
for Jack. It's good
he
news
was
because it
trying
means
to
they're
go
going
to
to
Europe.
stay. Yeah,
Wasn't he
it
trying
means
to
they're
go
going
to
to
Europe?
stay. Right. That's the good news. The good news is that it means that the team's not going anywhere. That's the good news.
Oh, because they're going to renovate the stadium.
Yeah, so they'll stay. So that's once they do that, that's huge to have that be done. So the team's not going to be going to England anytime soon, if ever. So that's a benefit. But playing a football game in the infield at Daytona,
That's going to be very awkward, sir.
something out of the XFL.
I mean,
This
you've
is
been
not.
to NASCAR tracks. The stands aren't close.
They're far, far away. They're going to build they're big temporary stadium stands, I'm assuming, to have them come in. Like I've seen them do stuff like that before. When they played in Birmingham, they've done stuff like that. I've seen it before. You can create some unique things to have a fan experience. It's closer to the field than what those stands are, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. It will. I think it's a bad idea, but it sounds like they don't have a choice. I just don't get. Why don't they just go play at Jackson in Gainesville?
How far away is that?
About this little Gainesville to Jacksonville, I think is.
Somebody put it in the chat before.
It's less.
Before the meteorologist or the guy giving directions tells us. I think it's the same.
You think it's 92 miles away?
Isn't Gainesville and Jacksonville farther apart? I mean, about the same? No, it's an hour, at least an hour away.
Not way closer. It's definitely closer though.
It's an hour, I think, right?
Yeah, I would say it's about an hour. It's a straight shot. Yeah, because
we got a lot of directions, guys. If somebody put it in the chat, they're looking it up right now. Perrault, we'll have an answer.
You go straight down. Yeah, straight down 95.
71 miles. Thanks, Otto.
How far away is Daytona? It's got to be 92 miles.
Daytona from Jacksonville is
92
a little further, probably 90 miles.
Yeah, 92. So
okay, so
yeah, so it's closer. I mean, I would go.
And they already have a stadium.
Right, that's what I mean. It's a football stadium. You already have the ability to go and play football there. Like they have all the media stuff. They've got everything set up the way you want it. Like you could do it. I don't get it. Like I know sharing with a college may not be ideal, and you have to pay different things, and you could outfit Daytona because I don't know what goes on at Daytona after the big race week happens. I don't know if they have stuff that you can just blow out of and say, hey, we're not going to do whatever. I know the drag strip gets used year round. I know that. But I don't know about the NASCAR, the actual stadium itself.
It seems if you got to take the show on a road 70 to 90 miles away, it would be much easier to do it at a football stadium that's already a football stadium than try to do it at the racetrack. But what do I know? I'm just
right.
I'm just doing a show. I have no idea. But just scratch my head and go, you're going to play at the track. Okay.
For 2 years, too. Not just 1 year, for 2 years.
Right.
Yikes.
I don't
that is not what you want. Okay. It is time now for the Omaha Steaks. This is going to be fun, too, because we have some new stuff. But Omaha Steaks, searing hot take of the day. I can't get over how good that looks on SportsGrid. I'm in love with how good that looks on SportsGrid. It's phenomenal. I watched it last night. I was like that. Oh no, I got more. I got.
Okay. All right. Let's get it done so we can get them all in here. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got 2 more coming. Joker last night on if he's excited about the parade in Denver. No, I need to go home. The job is done. We can go home now. What? You win the first NBA championship, and you're acting like you just got off the Friday night 5 o'clock shift. You just want to go home. Like, hey, man, you want to go grab a beer? Nah, man, I'm going home. I'm tired. I don't want to be here anymore. I've seen you guys enough. I'm out. I love this. This is such on brand for who this dude is.
I tweeted it the actual quote. It was so good. I loved it. I need to go home. I just want to go home. I've had enough. Like it was great. It was great. The whole thing about it. I loved every minute of it. I mean, it was awesome. People buy the meat. Buy the meat if you can.
Father's Day, by the way, is on Sunday. It's
good
coming
week
up.
to buy the meat.
Great week to buy the meat. The code is BVB. You're going to go to omahasteaks.com. Top right-hand corner, search bar. Type in BVB. By doing that, you'll save 60% on the Father's Day grill package. It is 4 fillets. It's 4 chicken breasts. It's 4 pork, boneless pork tenderloins. Phenomenal food, seasoning, dessert, and 8 Omaha steak burgers. BVB the code. Top right-hand corner. Ships delivered right to your door or wherever you want to send it to your dad, brother, uncle, whatever. As Dave said. Buy the meat, BVB, the code to save 60% off the Father's Day grill package. Father's Day coming up on Sunday. I can't believe it's already Father's Day. My goodness gracious. We're rolling here. A lot of things to run into. One more quick one, and then we can do better to book it. We actually almost do the whole entire show.
Yes.
Just for Sports Grid. All right, let's talk about this tomorrow then. We'll just save that and we'll do this.
We have to have a minute for BVB bonus time so you could play the thing, no? Or can we do BVB bonus time on the Sports Grid thing?
Well, no, I mean, we can just play. Better to book it time.
Play it again. One more time.
I love that. That's so fun. It's so fun.
Who authorized that music?
Me. I love that music. I mean, it's phenomenal. I love it. For those of you who never see bonus time when you're on Sports Grid, that's what we play. I love it. It looks so good on TV. We're just playing everybody so they can see bonus time. We're not going to do bonus time today because my mic is so messed up. So we'll just wind up giving
Kenny digging
extra.
the hole. I know you're listening to the show, Kenny, 3 times. Like, you got to watch the show on YouTube, Kenny, because you get to see these things. People that listen to the audio portion of the show,
right.
just
No idea
listen to the show,
yes.
They don't get it. Like, they don't see what you're seeing. It sounds great. It looks great. But I just wanted to mention Kenny, while he's out there digging. So he likes when we mention him. So I just wanted to make sure. Kenny, go watch the show on YouTube at the symbol Boston versus the book. Did you see we crept up over another number for subscribers? Thank you very much. All of you that have gotten us to this number. Thank you. Yeah.
Very cool. Did I notice that? That's phenomenal. Thank you for that. Hit the bell, as we're now telling everyone. So when we go live, hit the bell.
Right.
Subscribe, but hit the bell. So we're going as well. A little extra on that. Vegas go in the first 10 minutes tonight against Florida. -150.
Oh, how does this not happen? -150?
Yeah.
That's expensive, no?
It's happened, I think, in every game so far.
No. This is either team score a goal.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, it has to happen. I think it happens.
Yep, either team scores -150. I think Vegas scores first. I think Vegas scores early. I think the building goes absolutely, completely crazy. I think it's going to be an avalanche of sound. I mean, I can't wait to see how loud they turn up the actual in-house mic and music. Did you see in Game 2 when Davante Adams tried to be interviewed and he couldn't hear? The person was
loud in there.
The woman was sitting next to him, and he's like, "I can't hear you." He's like, "I have no idea what you're saying."
It's so loud in there to begin with during the regular season games when you go, and it ramps up for the playoffs. I'm still hoping I get a text or a call from somebody that says I got 2, because we took a straw poll in the house last night with the kids. I said, if I get 2 tickets to the game, which one of you get to go? And Kendall immediately volunteered herself.
Of course.
But her sisters said it has to be Mama to go with me. You got to let Mama go. And Kendall made a point we don't know how many times they're going to play for the Stanley Cup. And I'm the youngest, and I'll remember it the longest. She's so sharp. I mean, the case was made so quick.
I'll remember it the longest.
It's pretty good. That was quick, fast, 9 years old. And I almost said, you know what? I may let you and your mother go, actually. And then I said, no, I've always dreamt about seeing the Stanley Cup awarded in person, and I really would like to see that. So if anybody gets a ticket, shoot me a text or DM. I think a goal scored in the first 10 minutes.
Agreed.
Bet it.
Vegas in regulation. -104.
If you're going to bet Vegas, I think this is the way to bet it. I think you're right. Because the price, I wouldn't lay $2, but I would lay this because I could stomach losing this way.
Yeah.
I could stomach if the game went to overtime and then Vegas won. I'm good with saving the price.
I think if it goes to overtime, I think this bet hits too. I think it's 3-3 if it goes to overtime.
Oh, I'll see. I'll book this
Over.
one. I'm stuck on the under. I'm 2-2
3-2?
in the series, so I'll.
You're
book
down
this
the
one.
juice. You're losing.
What do you mean? I got plus money the last couple.
2-2. You got plus money on the under.
Yeah, it was -130.
6. It was 6.
It was 5 well, no, when it was 6, it was under was -120. But the 5.5s have all been under plus money. And then what I did last game and had a
but
huge
you missed
sweat.
game 1 and game. You missed game 1 and game 2.
Right, 1,
So
3, and 4.
you had 1 plus money game. Game
No,
3.
5.5s. I had 5.5 plus 110 under. It's -130
You
on the
lost.
other side.
So you're down 2 units in the first 2 games. Plus money
And
hit on 1.
2.12, 2.11.
All right, so you're up a tiny. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
up a little bit.
Up the juice.
Over.
Early goal scored in the game. I did this in game 4. When that goal was scored, it went immediately to 6.5. And I bet under 6.5. Would you bet under 6.5? Bet it or book it for you.
No, I need 2
Oh, you
goals
think
to
it's
give
going to 7? All right, that's fine.
Yeah, you need to give me 7 because I think there's a darn good chance that they yank the goaltender super early, like 8 minutes. If they're down 3-1, 4-1.
Relax.
Let me relax.
If
I
they're
think
down
do.
1 goal, they're not pulling a goalie with 8 minutes to go.
Didn't say that. I said 4-1, 3-1.
Oh, then it could get. Oh, if they get up multiple goals, it could get silly ugly.
So I think that's really possible.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to pull, and I think it just turns into one of the biggest parties this town has ever seen.
While Kendall just came in the chat and said she's not going with my mother only. So now I got to get 3 tickets, Kendall. I mean, I'm seriously, this is going to be a problem. You better talk to your mother. She wants to get 3. 3 tickets are impossible tonight. Has to be 2 or 4.
Should be the parents. Send the parents. Otherwise, kids are going to fight. Which kid are you leaving out? That's brutal. You get 4 tickets and tell someone, hey, by the way, you can't go to this game.
You know who that one person would be?
You.
Absolutely. I'm a huge favorite. If 4 tickets somehow come into our life, you know who's going?
Those
the
4.
girls. You know who's watching at home with the dog?
You.
Daddy.
100%. No, absolutely not even a questionable debate that is what's going to end up happening to you.
Right.
Favorite thing about today is what?
So it's crazy, and it's not my favorite thing about today. The results of the calls and the texts are, but a legend in Pittsburgh in the media, sports media, named Stan Savran passed away last night, and 76 years old. What's that?
We're both going to talk about death. It's just very strange. We're on the same. Again, we're on the same wavelength. It's very odd. I don't know what you're going to talk about. You don't know what I'm going to talk about. You're talking about death. I'm talking about death. It's very strange. So go on. Sorry.
It's crazy. Yes. But so this was a guy who, like, I interned at KDKA in 90, 91, and 92 in the summers when I was going to Penn State. And then they started this show, Guy and Stan, the KBL Sports Beat. It was us. Essentially, I'm looking back at it now, and it was us. It was what we're doing. Nobody wanted to do it. They needed to put it on TV, fill time, and it turned into this thing and had a 15-year run. And it was a way for people that were displaced from Pittsburgh or Pittsburgh sports fans to get daily talk from guys living and breathing it every day. And Stan Savran was a guy born and raised in Cleveland, went to the University of Miami, Ohio, got a job in Pittsburgh and became a Pittsburgher after a lifelong of. I read his bio today and I didn't realize all this stuff. He didn't get married till he was 45, lasted 15 years, and he was single. But he did Pirates pregame, postgame. He did Penguins pregame, postgame. He had his own show, ESPN Radio, iHeart Radio, all this other stuff. And he passed away last night. And it hit a lot of people hard because it's another one of those that he was the voice for a lot of things. And I got to sit sometimes at Three River Stadium in the press box and watch him hold court. And then I learned a lot about the media. And when I met him, he couldn't have been a nicer guy. He treated everybody with respect. He treated everybody like a regular person. Their calls, they took calls all the time from everyone and anyone who became regular characters on the show, i.e. our chat. They did live shows and people would come out of the woodwork for it, like they did at the pool. And I was thinking of all this stuff, and I was trading texts with a guy this morning, and he said, I can't believe Stan's gone. He said, but, this might be an opportunity for you to, and I was like, relax, hold on. And I was filling Stan's shoes, but it was that thought and the parallels that were drawn. And I was like, wow, I'm going to talk about that as the best thing about today. So rest in peace, Stan Savran, and all the people that knew him as like Uncle Stan. But it's another just reminder that, this time in life is so short that we have with each other. Be nice and treat everybody with respect. And, hopefully you make an impact on one person's life.
June 13th, 2020, 3 years ago. This week will always be an interesting one for me because we all lost a lot in COVID. I lost the ability to say goodbye to my grandmother, who died 3 years ago today, June 13th, 2020. She was 91 years old, had a hell of a run. But I was supposed to go to her funeral 2 days after she passed. The night before, I was to board a plane at 6 a.m. to fly home to go to the funeral. Guys, remember where we were in June of 2020. I popped positive for my first time with COVID at 11:35, 6.5 hours before I was supposed to board a flight to go home. I would have brought COVID with me to my entire family, and I could have wiped out my entire family because that was not just COVID, that was full-blown COVID. Full strain, real strain of COVID, not like, the variants. It was COVID-1 that I popped positive with. And it was always a lucky, whatever you want to call it, universe protecting, whatever. But I checked my phone. I got up at 11:35, opened my phone, got the email, COVID positive. I was supposed to be on a plane 7 hours later, flying home.
So obviously you didn't go.
Oh, no, didn't go. Missed the funeral. Didn't get a
You
chance to
guys
say goodbye to
all
my
got
grandmother.
sick.
Well, my
The
ex was
house
sick
got
first.
sick.
She was sick first. She brought it home
Yeah.
from work. She was a hygienist, and she got it at work. Brought it home. Madeline got it first, then I got it, and I got it. I mean, I was bad I was out of work for 2 weeks, and I will never forget that 11-day period from that night. I think it was the 15th of June until the end of the month. I didn't feel normal again until after the 4th of July. I remember watching the fireworks from the balcony, watching the ballpark from the balcony in my old house. And I was just feeling normal, like 14 days after testing positive. I just was starting to come back up. But I mean, I drank a case and a half of vitamin water on the first night. I had insane dreams, insane sweating. I sweat through like 3 different types of clothes.
You lost
it was
the
awful.
taste and all that stuff.
I lost everything. I got everything. Couldn't taste it. I was downing whiskey like it was water. Just go. It was just probably an experiment for funny. I couldn't taste the damn thing until it got to my stomach. I didn't know what I was drinking until it got to my stomach. Couldn't smell anything for a week and a half. So I'll always, 3 years ago, I'll always say to my grandmother, that may have been you. I mean, she was an extremely spiritual woman. She was a Franciscan minister. The most religious person I've ever met in my life is my grandmother, Susan DeQuatro, who on June 13th, 2020, finally passed away at the age of 91. Had a hell of a run, raised a ton of kids, 17 grandchildren, and I went to her grave for the first time last summer when I was home. So that was that was the first time actually getting a chance to see it and say goodbye to my grandmother. But yeah, 3 years ago today, a lot was different 3 years ago today.
Unbelievable, man.
Our
Unbelievable.
Our world was a very different place. I appreciate you guys sticking with me with this. I'm going to go get this fixed literally after a call that we've got in 30 minutes, and I'm going to go get this thing fixed so we don't have to deal with this tomorrow. I apologize. Thank you for bearing with us. If you're listening on the podcast, I'm sorry. It'll be better tomorrow. I promise. For Dave, Matt,